Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. My name is Samora Maina. I'm a registered dietitian and I help people to positively shift their relationship with food and their bodies. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, kindly like, comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Happy New Year! It's my birthday month. So, talk of birthdays, talk of New Year's. How is your New Year's resolution coming along so far? At the beginning of the year, we all made our resolutions, and you are like, I want to eat healthy, I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight, I want to start my fitness journey, which is really a good thing. If you made your resolutions at the beginning of the year, how has it been? So far, so good. We already a quarter way into the year. Have you been doing the quarterly checks to be able to see whether you actually made any progress? Have you achieved anything so far? What you started at the beginning of the year, are you still at it? Are you still doing it? We are on the third month of the year. January, I remember January, everyone, gym is usually very packed. I usually have quite a good number of clients to do nutrition with. And then by the time we are getting to February, coming to March, all that numbers decline. So where is the problem? Where is the problem? What are we doing that is not really right? So for starters, this is not a video to maybe crucify anyone or to condemn anyone for the decisions that they made. The enemy here is poor health. Okay, by the end of the day, we want to be healthy, we want to feel better, we want our mental health to do so well. So all these things, all these steps that you are taking, even to feel good, to look good, and all the steps that you are putting in to be able to achieve that is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to want to look a certain way, to want to have a flat tummy and big bum bum, to want to look masculine, to feel good, to want to take care of your mental health. It's not a bad thing to want to take care of anything concerning your body. But the question is, are you doing it correctly? That's why I have a problem with. Of course, some people had the intention of wanting to gain weight. Are you getting it correctly? And most people, on the other hand, because most of the clients that I get personally are those people who want to lose weight. Let's talk about these people who want to lose weight. Are you losing this weight in a much healthier way? Yeah. Of course, obesity is the enemy, because by the end of the day, if you have too much weight, it can easily lead to heart diseases, can give you a heart attack, it can lead to depression, because you find that it can give you a very low self-esteem and you don't want even to associate with people because you're not proud of your weight. At the same time, it can predispose you to type 2 diabetes. You become at risk of developing different types of cancer, like the colon cancer, for example. Yeah, it puts you at risk of having sleeping problems, the sleep apnea, and if you have asthma, it makes it even worse. So it's not a bad thing to put that weight off. Where do we go wrong? Well, trying to achieve this weight loss, we've had a lot of trends, a lot of diets coming up. Are we really doing it the correct way? It's not a bad thing to do it, but are we doing it the correct way? Okay. Being a dietitian, I've come to acknowledge that people actually struggle with an actual eating disorder, with food addiction, with hyperthyroidism, which means their metabolism is very low and their chances of losing weight is really a problem. I also acknowledge that the older you grow, the harder it is for you to lose the weight. I also acknowledge the fact that some people have tried different methods and they just haven't worked for them, or it worked and it took them back to the drawing board. Again, I acknowledge all those things, but what I want us to understand is, first of all, as we are chasing to lose this fat, yeah, are we working towards making ourselves to be healthier individuals than we were before? Like you said, obesity is an actual problem. So let's discuss that. First of all, you need to understand that there are those diets that simply don't work, or there are those things that we do that simply don't work. First of all, you having to take maybe lemon water, apple cider vinegar, or rather slimming teas, or whichever concoctions, the green teas, these things don't work if you don't put in the work. Yeah, you just don't take that concoction, that slimming tea, and you expect it to move around your body, burning fats all over, and you already have that weight that you want to achieve. Another thing is the slimming belt. Slimming belts don't work. Okay, slimming belt, what it does is just going to it's gonna compress you and make you look like making you look like you're smaller than you actually are. But by the end of the day, when you remove that slimming belt, that fat is still there. So slimming belt does not press the fats to make it to remove it, yeah, or rather to make it melt down. It doesn't necessarily melt down the fats. Or another thing is you need to understand that you cannot spot train. You cannot lose weight in certain areas alone. You lose the fats generally, and one of those areas that you're going to lose, depending on your genetics, could be that area that you find troublesome. So in that case, you just don't do a certain exercise to be able to trim that one specific area. So if these slimming teas, these belts, could actually be doing the job, yeah, would you have people walking around struggling with obesity? So they would have just taken those bells and tied them, or rather take that lemon water, drink them, and already they're losing weight. There are so many things, and these things, trust you me, they'll keep coming up. We also need to watch out the celebrities on TikTok, Instagram, who are selling you these products. Yeah, you follow them for quite some time now. I saw one who was selling slimming something, yeah, something for slimming. I usually don't follow through these things, because I usually get so annoyed, because she was slim before childbirth, and then she had the baby fat, and then now after a while she got back to where her body was before, and genetically she was created like that. Yeah, so and she's here selling you slimming products, because you assume now, because she got back, you're also gonna be able to go back. This is just her body responding to how her genetic composition is made up of. So they're selling you these things, and I saw the price of that, whatever she was selling, was something else. Like, it was just quite a lot. So are you ready to put yourself through that? Remember, the weight you've built over these years, yeah, you just don't wake up and you lose them overnight. There's also surgeries. Of course, we have the gastric bypass, we have the liposuction, and there are people who are putting the balloon. We have so many, and if you want to go into details on this topic of medical procedures, let me know, so that we can discuss it. First of all, if you choose to go the surgery way, at the end of the day, like we said, obesity is an actual disease, and if you want to go the surgery direction, of course surgery is one of those procedures that are recommended when it comes to obesity. Of course, if you have an obesity of plus 40 going on, the doctor might recommend that you do a surgery. So whoever is doing that surgery for you, especially if you are not this obese, or rather this obesity is not causing you an actual problem, except for maybe how you look. You don't have high cholesterol, you don't have struggle breathing, because being big a lot of time doesn't necessarily equate that you're an unhealthy individual. By the time a doctor prescribes, or rather recommends, that you do a surgery, it's because this weight is already giving you a problem, and if you continue staying with this weight, it's going to cause future problems. It can even cause death, and that's why the most urgent thing to do for you is they do for you a surgery. But there are people whose lives are not necessarily at risk, but they decide to opt for a surgery. Some people don't even have a very high BMI on them, but they still want to opt for these surgeries, because they don't like how their body looks at the moment. So those are the people I'm trying to talk to, because whoever is doing this surgery for you, first of all, ensure that they are professionals, they are licensed people to do that surgery, so that the surgery is not botched. This person, if at all is a professional, is going to tell you all the pros and all the cons, yeah, of this surgery. So by the time you're doing them, you already knows the advantages and the disadvantages, and allow you to make that decision for yourself. And that's not that the doctor is not supposed to make that decision for you. Okay, because we've had certain situations whereby you've undergone this procedure, and your health is compromised. You don't even have a quality life afterwards. So these are some of the things you need to think about. Yeah, are the pros outweighing the cons? Yeah, can this weight go off if I decide to be disciplined in how I eat, if I exercise, if I move more? Can it be taken care through that? Am I patient enough for me to be able to get there? These are the questions that you should ask yourself before deciding that you want to go to this surgery, because like every other surgery, it's a matter of life and death. You may get in there and not come out alive. So that is also a possibility. Once you've weighed your options, and then decide, is it something I want to go for? And like I've said, like any other surgery, it can fail. Yeah, so those are some of the things you need to have a look at. But if your health is at risk, then surgery is one of those recommendations that are made. Okay, another thing is Ozempic. It's something that is now blowing up the internet at the moment. Ozempic is a brand name, but we have it's called the semaglutide. So it mimics the appetite suppressing hormone, and then with that you don't feel hungry, you feel full for a long time. So it ensures that there's calorie restriction, and if there's calorie restriction, you're definitely losing the weight. But there are other disadvantages that comes. It can lead to gastrointestinal issues like vomiting, diarrhea. Those are some of the side effects. It can lead to even riskier problems like pancreatitis, that is an inflamed pancreas. It can lead to thyroid cancer. It can lead to gallbladder issues, and so forth. Yeah, it might not happen to everyone, but it's a risk. It's a risk factor, and it's even included in when you go check the Ozempic or the semaglutide websites. They show that those are some of the side effects. Remember, Ozempic was initially made for people with diabetes, okay, to be able to control their blood sugar levels. So for them, when you weigh the options, the benefits outweighs the disadvantages. So for you, if you are taking this particular drug, are the benefits outweighing the disadvantages? Those are some of the things you need to consider before subjecting yourself into this kind of risks. Okay, so and then another thing that I'm gonna talk about briefly is the calorie restriction. Those people who are on these diets that are very calorie that restricts the amount of calories that you're taking, the amount of food that you're taking. Some of you are eating way too little food. Okay, some of you are doing extremes when it comes to your diets. I've seen some people taking concussions, and they're not eating any other meal. Okay, so you need to understand that by the end of the day, yeah, as human beings, we were created to eat, and this eating involves you taking your carbs, your protein, your fats, your fruits and vegetables, and you're hydrating. Those are the basics of your nutrition. Those are the basics of your health. Okay, so if you're restricting calories, if you're not taking enough calories, some people are taking even way below 1,000 calories in a day. Because the moment you calorie restrict, the moment you eat too little, it's not just that weight that goes away. You're likely to suffer from micronutrient deficiency, which is even worse, okay, than that fat that you're trying to lose. You're likely to suffer from gut issues. Your gut health is gonna be compromised. Yeah, you're likely to suffer from depression as well. Yeah, because of all these things that you're trying to do. Hormonal issues as well. Okay, and another thing, as women, we also need to also understand that your menstruation is going to be affected, because you start having irregular periods, and at the end of the day, it's gonna affect your fertility. And it's even worse for someone who is physically active. You're physically active and you're not eating enough to fuel that activity. Okay, that is something that is also a topic for another day. To conclude, obesity is a real problem. If you're struggling with overweight and obesity, seek medical help from your doctor, or even your nutritionist, because they need to work together. And if it's even giving you stress, then you might need to seek for a mental health specialist. Okay, so, and then after that, you need to also understand that having a bigger body doesn't necessarily mean you are unhealthy. You can be the thinnest person in the room, but the most unhealthy individual that has ever lived. We have to acknowledge the fact that there is no time that all of us will ever be the same. Our body composition will forever be different. So don't look at yourself and start comparing yourself with another person and wanting to look like that person. We can never be the same. So the earlier you accept that, the easier for you to be able to go through this life, or rather this journey, healthy journey, better. Okay, we can never be the same. Our genetic composition are totally different. If you keep on stressing yourself, that's why you keep on moving from one diet to another, not understanding the fact that this jumping from one diet to another has its own repercussions, and which can easily affect your metabolism and even how your body works. So love yourself as you are right now, so that you can be able to work towards that body that you want to get to. So with that said, I wish us all the best, and I hope you become a healthier, fitter, better person, or rather better version of yourself by the end of the year. I wish you well, whichever goal you want to have. Again, it's not a problem, but you have to start somewhere. The weight that you built, over the years, will not just wake up one day and it all goes away overnight. Okay, remember, you have to put in the work. Ensure you're eating healthy, you're taking your carbs, proteins, and fats. Okay, you're taking your fruits and vegetables, and you're hydrating properly. That is the baseline of a good health. And then after that, then that's when you do portion control, and after that, that's when you're able to achieve whichever goal that you have. And if that one does not work, again, seek medical help. You cannot do it on your own. Seek medical help, and that's how you be able to become a better version of yourself, a healthier version of yourself. So with that said, all the best. Thank you so much for listening to me. Kindly like, comment, and subscribe. Recommend me to your friends, and let's keep this conversation going. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye.